Welcome back to DeFi Live, your weekly pulse check on the crypto and DeFi markets, brought to you by the Onchain Academy. I'm Rich, and every week right here, we break down what actually matters before you make a move. Here's what's on deck today. Ted's going to walk us through current market conditions, what's driving price action this week, and where the smart money seems to be positioning. Then we'll dig into the Fear and Greed Index, where sentiment sits right now, what that number is really telling us, and why it matters more than most people realize. And to close things out, Ted's going to give you his read on where he sees the market heading over the next 7 days. Not a guarantee, just an informed take based on the data in front of us. As always, this is education, not financial advice. What you do with it is up to you. All right, let's get into it. Ted, take it away.
Welcome back to another DeFi Live. I'm with Travis today. How you doing, Travis?
Doing fantastic. How are you, Ted?
Excellent. Unfortunately, we don't have Rich or Megan today, so I don't know what's going on. But the show will go on today. So we got I got
Absolutely.
a big show here. So first off, Travis, I'm going to just give some updates on what's going on in the market. There we go. All right. So August 25th, 2026. Today's signal is 80,000 for BTC. It's a 3-month high, which I think we're all pretty happy for. The rally's holding, but today is consolidation. Consolidations are always good. It's a great time to buy. If you're in the pools, you'll notice your pools are nice and calm. Not a lot of rebalancing. Sentiment jumped from fear to extreme greed. We were at 46. Greed is 62, which is it's okay. We can handle that for a little bit. We haven't seen that in a long time. Four forces driving Bitcoin above the 80 is the Treasury bond buyback, the institutional ETFs, 1.92 billion last week, short coverings of nearly 3 billion in liquidations. That's why we don't go long on what are they called, Travis?
The boltards?
Oh. That's the boltards. I love it. Yeah, we don't take longs for sure. Short because you will get liquidated. And
yeah, 100%.
Regulatory, isn't that true? The rally broadened beyond Bitcoin today. So Aave move was tied to institutional collateral narratives, cross-chain infrastructure, and broader rotation into DeFi. All good news for us today. Aave connects DeFi to institutional credit. I thought this would never come. So this just allows the institutions into Aave, which we will see extreme growth in liquidity. So that means our liquidity pools should do quite well from here on in. Stablecoins keep more than 300 billion on chain. The stablecoins just keep pumping and pumping and pumping. I think they just did a $1.2 trillion in Tether, which just amazing. Crypto regulations now has a 3-way path. They got Clarity Act on Congress at September the 15th, actually. SEC has new exemptions. Proposed the startups are exempt up to $5 million. So we're going to see another ICO coming. And what's nice is the CFTC, the regulatory say they can advance rules if Congress stalls. So if the Clarity Act doesn't go through, what this means is it doesn't become a law, but it becomes, I guess, a habit for the selected agencies like SEC and CFTC. So we will see change. Traditional markets are amplifying the crypto story. So the US dollar obviously is softer. Treasury yields are slightly lower. That means gold is going to go up. Bitcoin's going to go up. Oil's down sharply, but keep your eye on that. So I wanted to show a little bit of this, Travis. Trending, it doesn't mean that they're trustworthy, but I wanted to show you the top trending coins. Believe it or not, Trump coin is number one. I don't know
Yeah, I heard that.
I heard Pump is actually on its way up. Hype coin, number 8. It should be a lot higher than that. VVV, which I think, which is Venice AI, which is an amazing tool. If you ever get a chance to use Venice,
Yeah.
it's an amazing tool. And obviously, Ethan Arrow are on their way up as well. So there is another side to the story that a lot of the prediction markets are looking at. They're thinking this could be a bull trap at 77.3, but we did hit the 80K. We really need to stay above that 80. We got to come down and test that resistance, and then we know we're back into the bull run. A rejection near 77 to 80 is possible, and then a fall towards 53. So this is on the not as positive side. 5 signals will test the breakout. An 80K exception, like I just said. ETF flows continue. The Jackson Hole on August 27th to 29th. I think there's going to be good news coming out of there, as well as the Clarity Act September 15th. And the extreme greed plus crowded longs can amplify pullbacks. So watch leverage. That's the word I was looking for. Leverage. We don't. Leverage is good if you know what you're doing. Have you ever used that, Travis?
I have used leverage before, yeah.
How'd that go for you?
Well, I'll tell you a story about that. When Binance was first allowed to be doing business in Canada, I had no clue what I was doing, and I'm like, "Oh, look at this! There's just like this 100 times button on here," and I'm like, "So I put in like $20 or $30, and I leveraged it, and boom, I now owe $1,200." I was like, "What the hell is going on?" I had no clue what I was doing, so I sat down at the computer, and for probably 2 days straight, I'm like, "Okay, how do I make this work? How do I make this work?" And I just kept doing trade after trade after trade. And I actually got my account back to zero and back up to my $20 and got rid of all of my leverage. It was crazy. I just was like, holy cow, what you can do with leverage. Wow. Like,
So the moral of the story is don't fall for high leverage like 100. A lot of people use 10 or 20, but learn from us that it doesn't always work, and know what you're doing and play with just a little amount.
know what you're doing is the key. Yeah.
There is a key. The breakout is real. So is the risk. So just be careful out there. Once we confirm, we'll let you know. And it's funny that you mentioned to me earlier, Travis, and I just want to share my screen one more time on this computer here. And I don't know if you know this indicator or not as it pops up. Have you seen this one before?
I have not seen that one. I know that I've seen the rainbow bands. I haven't seen that one.
This one here is called the Gaussian channel. And if there is ever a simple way to see if you want to get in the market or stay out of the market. So what we call this is quicksand. When you go into the quicksand, it sucks you in big time. When you get out of the quicksand, you skyrocket. So the simplest thing I've ever seen, just think of this as quicksand, whether you want to get in or want to get out. You can see even when's this 2023. When we got out, we skyrocketed. Back in 2022, when we dipped our toes in, we sunk way down. So this is a pretty cool little channel that I use quite a bit. That was probably back in 2017, I'm sure, because that went just crazy. Oh, that's 2020. Wow. Well, I'm on the Ethereum here as well, so Let me just scale this down for you. And you can see every single time, back in 2017 for that bull run, there it is. Once we got out of this channel, we skyrocketed. Once you go in this channel, you end up sinking to the bottom. So just a little something to keep in mind, maybe a chart that some people might like to use.
That's a cool,
Yeah,
cool little, yeah,
that's pretty cool, isn't it?
that is really neat.
Just gonna move you over here. There we go.
So some of
All
the things
right.
that we're doing is correlated pairs trading. And the reason you want to use correlated pairs, I'm just going to pull something up here and share my screen, is when you look at how the markets move. So here we have BTC, the top left, we have Ethereum bottom left, and Solana. And here's that. I threw this one here for the SPX just to kind of show that how different it is to compared to the fiat market, the stock market, and versus the Bitcoin. These correlated pairs, when you're trading, as these are moving up and down, we're getting fees on these. So the cool piece is that they actually move together. So, I mean, there's a whole bunch of financial backing on that, like information on that we're not going to get into, but it just shows that when you collect fees on these pairs, they're really secure. They're actually like a blue chip style of investing that is actually really quite secure. Some people, it freaks them right out, but I'm like, this looks pretty consistent to me. So, and if you spread it out, you can see they really move together. So
Yeah, like correlated pairs there for sure. So what did you call that? What was that site there? Just in case people want to know.
this is FinViz. FinViz is very much like TradingView. It's just another platform that gives you a ton of information. And if I don't, I mean, if you're a full-time trader, yeah, go with those. If you're really heavy into wanting to learn some stuff, these sites contain a lot of information. FinViz is one of the more expensive ones, but it has so much information. If you really want to learn, there's a lot of education to be done on TradingView or FinViz. So it's part of, I think it's part of investing in yourself for the education component of things. And on the note of investing in yourself, we don't have Megan here today, who's our marketing and kind of our personal development person that we have. The part about investing in yourself, I think it was Jim Rohn that said you should invest 2 to 3% of your income on yourself. And I don't know about you, but I don't know if I've hit that threshold yet. If I take all the money I've made in my life, I don't think I've spent 2 or 3% on myself as of yet. So I'm working on it. And the best investment you can make is in yourself. Even Warren Buffett says that.
Oh, exactly. And it's funny because on my emails, I do have a Jim Rohn thing. It's formal education will make you a living. Self-education will make you a fortune. And it's so
Yeah.
true.
Yep. Do we want to talk about our positions? Did you pull yours out today? And
Yes, I did, sir.
okay.
Okay, so let the competition begin. Let's give them a bit of an update of how we started. Did you want to do that, Travis?
Yeah, so we started with $1,000 and we're just gonna, and it's an educational thing because it's not something that, you know, we're not putting any big wagers on this thing, but it's more about showing you how we can do different things. And because we're pulling it out every week, it's going to allow you to see different ways of doing things. So I put my $1,000 into Aerodrome Finance. And what I'll do is I'll just I'm going to share the screen here and I'll bring it up so people can see. So this is Aerodrome Finance. So if a person wants to get some liquidity, you can go into these different pools, just like anybody else can do that. Now the yields aren't the same, but I did some research and they said, "Oh yeah, no, this is a really good pool. It'll work for you." And I'm like, "Okay, cool." So I put my money in, I let it sit there for the week, and here is my total for the week. So what it is I got some Arrow tokens. You can see right here, I got 3.139 Arrow tokens, which are worth a total of 53 cents each. So the token rewards weren't that amazing. But right now I'm sitting at $1,016. It was actually at 1,018, but it's clear that ETH just went down. So yeah, that's where I'm at, Ted. That's what mine netted out at for the week.
Awesome. And on a positive note there too, that arrow can go up. So you're increasing by your pools, but you're also increasing in case arrow goes up.
Absolutely. And that's where getting rewards can be fun for your bull run bag because if you hold on to those, there's different things that you can do. You can get drops, you can get the increase in that bull run portion of your bag.
Right. All right. So I'll show you what I've done. I went into a CL, a consolidated 60 ETH USDC, but I went at a very tight range. I went at a 1.5. And so my wallet, if you can see this, I'll just make this bigger for you. I started off with 1,000. I think 1,006 because it went up because I had ETH, and ETH did an amazing thing. But the consolidated, you really have to pay attention when you have such a tight range. And that's one of the things I don't think I liked as much. It made some money. I made in the week, I made $128 or let's say $120 because I think I had $8 or $9 because of ETH going up. It all counts. But yeah, the consolidated 60 at a 1.5% range might have been too tight for most people. But I did want to try it. I'm going to try something different every week. That one was pretty
Yeah.
successful. Even though I was down, ETH is coming down a little bit. I'm down $10 over the time, but yeah, that's what I did over the first week, but early in the competition. Early in the competition.
Yes. Now, if you were to compare that to, say, $1,000 in your bank, I mean, you're not going to make $128.
Yeah, I don't even know if you'd make a buck in a week with a
That's
thousand
the thing,
bucks.
right? Yeah. So, I wanted to test out the Aerodrome platform because I've always listened to so many guys talk about it, and it's not a bad place if you want to park your money and make a little bit of money, and it's a pretty secure. Aerodrome's not going anywhere. They're a pretty secure site. But I will say this, getting my money on that platform, there's a lot of swapping that has to happen. So you are paying a little bit of money here and there for swapping, and it doesn't make it as user friendly. So, if I was to give it a rating on a scale of 1 to 10, I'd say it's like a 2. It's not a place that I would recommend anybody going to do their thing. There's way more efficient and lucrative ways to put your money into a platform.
Absolutely. Yeah. But you know what? That's a good start. I'm ahead by now, but and I'm a bit of a degen. So this next week I'm going to be doing a little bit of degen pool. So we'll see how that works. And again, next Tuesday we will come back and we will show what we've gained or lost.
Absolutely. So on another note, talking about pools, I'd like to share my MaxFi pool with you guys so you can understand part of my. I don't mind sharing how I'm earning money in other places, and I'm not a young spring chicken, so I'd like to put my money into something that's actually more for a retirement kind of thing. And this is something I started about. It's 5 days and 22 hours ago, and there's some neat features on this protocol. So as you can see right here, I've got 15.7 in there, 88.3%, $38 a day, 5 days, 22 hours, $225 earned.
Wow.
4.9% range with a 24-hour delay. So it's only been rebalanced once. Ted, do you want to talk about the whole thing about rebalancing and impermanent or permanent loss?
Sure. So if you're rebalance on a consistent basis, there are fees. On MaxFi, there are no fees on this particular rebalance. And if for impermanent loss, so if you are in this one being the uh, ETH Bitcoin, so if ETH is going up, you're going into Bitcoin. If Bitcoin's going up, you're going into ETH. On this particular pool, I don't see impermanent loss because I don't mind being in either one because I have conviction for both of these. So this is an excellent
Yeah.
pool for like a beginner. This is the perfect pool actually. But keep in mind, MaxFi
Yeah.
does like take a profit from this. Their fees are only they take a 15% only off the money that you make. Where a VFAT or something like that, they're going to take money whether you're making money or not making money. They still get their fees, and that's the big difference with
Yeah.
MaxFi and VFAT and some other platforms that are out there too. So it's not a bad thing because you can easily lose 15% uh, going down, which will just multiply your losses because of the fees that are
Yeah.
incurred.
Yeah, so with this little bit bigger range, bigger than 1% anyway, it allows you to not have to pay attention to it so much. And because this is an automated 24-hour delay, now the reason you want to have a 24-hour delay, if I go back to this, I'm just gonna get rid of all the other stuff. So if you had a time frame, you can see how it goes up and down, right? So if you look at this time frame, so say 12 p.m. to 12 p.m. over here, well, look how much it's gone up and down, right? So if I stretch it out, let me see if I can get it into a 12-hour window there. There, that's a 12-hour window. So if you're changing your number and look, so right here, if we just go from this part of the channel all the way over to here, they're basically the same. So if you played with it in here, you'd be paying money to move your 4.9%, but because the range is bigger, I don't have to worry about that. And here we are right at the very end, and I'm back in range again if I did go out of range. So that 4.9% with a 24-hour delay allows me to not have to worry about taking care of it. So if a person has a job, which a lot of people do, I'm just going to stop sharing my screen here. It allows you just to go to work and not worry about it. Investing and making money should be boring. It's not supposed to be all. I mean, if you are really into the adrenaline and the hype, yeah, you can do that. You can go do, like you said, a 1% DGen play and be excited and stressed out or pumped all at the same time, however you are. Not everybody handles it well. And I know guys who have actually pulled out of pools because they're like, I can't do it. It's too much stress. I'm worried about my money. So we're not risk takers here in that sense. We really just want to show people that you can do this and it can be boring and you can make money. So
Oh yeah, especially with that particular pool, it's a correlated pool as well. So that's an excellent move for beginners, especially at 4.9%. If you wanted to make a little bit, you could probably go down to a 2.5 because you're not paying for those rebalances anyway, and you might be able to get
yeah,
a little bit more of an APR out of that. But for a beginner, a 4.9 24-hour rebalance, nah, that's perfect. That is perfect. On a
yeah,
correlated pair, that.
yeah. And if you really want to take the pressure off, 15 to 20% is even an even more a larger range that just takes away all the stress of anything. And I would say that's kind of like, say, investing in Apple.
Yeah.
Honestly, like you're if you're wanting that kind of a reward or that kind of a profit, that you'll get it. It'll be there. And so the ability to take your rewards and put them right into your wallet, and straight into your bank account if you want, is there. And there's ways of tracking all your stuff. There's tax programs that'll help you keep track of all your stuff. And there's even some of these hard wallets that come with their own credit cards. So, or platforms that come with their own credit cards. So there's lots of options there for people to be able to manage their money.
Yeah, exactly. And that should be another show when we talk a little bit more of in regards to the taxes and the cards, because I have quite a few of the cards as well, and it works out pretty good. And what's nice about the taxes too, that they actually track every single rebalance, every step you take, so you don't have to keep track of everything and write it all down. Let the software do it. There's some free ones out there, but when it comes around to tax time, you will be paying to get your tax return from that platform.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty amazing how far it's come along because it was back not too many years ago where there was nothing. There was no programs, there was no um like it was difficult to move your money around. And once you put it in there, yeah. So anyways, lots of things are happening.
Lots of things. All right, that's a wrap on the competition for this week. I'm going to just brag a bit. Ted's a little bit ahead of Travis just right now, but it's
You
so
are.
early. That's only week one. So I know Travis is going to come back strong, and he's going to be trying to reach those numbers.
Yeah.
But anything else going on? What's going on this week?
One of the things that I realized this week is when you listen to different influencers on how the markets move, and you and I both listen to a guy, Ivan on Tech. I did not realize actually when I start hearing other guys dropping this guy's name, that's a good way to gauge whether somebody actually knows what they're talking about, is when other influencers that have been in the market for a long time are dropping names like that. Um, and he's a programmer. He kind of knows what he's doing. You and I both have met some programmers that really know what they're doing. The guys that develop MaxFi, and that guy's a programmer. There's some really smart people out there that are doing this. What I think is so crazy is that there's nothing in the news about any of this. Yeah, they're talking about the Clarity Act, but I still feel like this is like we're on the dark web. Like nobody seems to know what's going on in the crypto world and that you can actually make money with it. And I'm just like blown away because I do some traditional investing as well. And I look at what my traditional investment guy is making me for money. And I'm like, okay, dude, like, can you do something better for me? Because this over here is doing amazing. Like, at 1%, the D10 pools out. I'm at 1.5% on one of mine. It's 897% APR. And yeah, that does go up and down. But when I can make $350 a day on an investment or 24 hours or 2 days, whatever, that's crazy. And in 5 days on like I said on my MaxFi, to be able to earn $225 in 5 days, that's crazy. Like that's $1,000 a month.
It's funny that, yeah, like you said, nobody really knows this. It does feel like everybody thinks it's a scam now anyway, right now, right? But I can pull that money out anytime I want, or I can use one of my cards and buy dinner, which I'm going to plan on doing tomorrow. We got company coming down. Um, but yeah, I just wish people would just take the time, open their eyes, and really take a look at this because this can change people's lives. Because the banks are not out for you. They're not going to be helping you. And it's channels like this that can help you and can help you open your eyes and bring in a little bit of extra money because prices, groceries are going crazy. Rent is like stupid. Trying to get a mortgage, you can't buy a house with less than $1 million nowadays. So
Right?
yeah, I totally hear you there, Travis.
The other part of it too is this is not Ted and I aren't programmers. I'm not a programmer. I have zero programming experience. I remember back in the day, I wanted to read the C plus programming book, and got to like the first page, and I'm like, I can't read this. This is so dry. I'm like, there's no way. I just can't do it. And yeah, I've gotten into computers since then over the years. I've played with computers and built machines and done all the things, but I don't do programming. I'm not a programmer. I'm not a finance guy. I haven't taken any financial courses. Nothing I say is financial advice, myself or Ted. Um, I'm a welder. I've been welding for 25 years, had a welding business. Ted delivered the mail. Like we're just regular Joe guys that decided to take control of what we put in here. And how we can show other people to do what we're doing as well.
Yeah, exactly. And you know what? The more people that come onto this channel and start asking questions, it's just a bunch of people hanging out, helping each other, and trying to create a better life for everybody.
Exactly.
All right, Travis. Until Thursday, I thank you, and the competition shall continue. And I'm sure you're going to be coming right up behind me soon, and I got to sharpen my skills for next Tuesday. But until then, I thank you once again, my friend, for coming on. And any last words?
Game on, brother. Let's do it.
All right, all right. Thank you again, Travis. And
Okay, thank you, Ted.
we'll see you on Thursday.
You bet.
And that's a wrap on this week's DeFi Live. Quick recap. We covered where the market stands right now, what the Fear and Greed Index is telling us about sentiment, and Ted's outlook for the week ahead. Remember, everything you heard today is for educational purposes, so always do your own research and make decisions that fit your own risk tolerance. If this kind of weekly breakdown is helpful, make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss next week's episode. We'll be back same time, same place, with a fresh read on the markets. And if you want to go deeper than a weekly video, real structure, real curriculum, real community, head over to the Onchain Academy, the DeFi protocol at www.thedefiprotocol.com and check out what we've built. Until next week, this is Rich, signing off from DeFi Live. Stay sharp out there.